Positional advantages are a fundamental concept across every Smash game that many players don't fully understand. In fact, even intermediate and advanced players consistently forget to use the benefits of stage positioning to their advantage. If you're unsure how stage positioning can empower your character, let's look at a few examples. First, there's the concept of center stage. By controlling center stage, you reduce your opponent's available options simply by occupying a certain position on stage. Let's look at a common punish game scenario. Here, the Sheik player is hoping to tech chase Falco by either reacting or reading his potential tech options. If this interaction occurs in the center of the stage, Falco has several options. He can tech in place, tech left, tech right, or he can miss the tech. As you can see, the range where Falco can roll away is quite large, making it difficult to react to the option Falco chooses. But what happens if Falco is cornered? In the worst possible spot, teching to the left barely moves him at all, making it much easier for Sheik to react. If Sheik uses an up smash here, she'll cover 3 out of 4 tech options. Those options are tech to the left, tech in place, and no tech. While this is obviously an extreme example of a positional advantage, at the end of the day, if this same scenario occurred in the center of the stage, up smash would only cover 2 out of 4 options. So by using her positional advantage, Sheik went from covering 50% of Falco's options to 75%, just because of where the interaction took place. That's the power of stage positioning. Let's look at another example, this time in the neutral game. Marth players often like to dash dance out of the range of Fox and punish his landing lag, often with a grab. This can be achieved by wave dashing back as well. When Marth has stage control, he's able to do whatever he wants. However, in the corner, if Marth wave dashes back, he will just grab ledge, and if he dash dances back, he often has little or no room to do so. Just by being cornered, Marth loses some of his most effective and common ways to deal with Fox in the neutral game. So knowing the power of stage control, how can you apply it to your own game? If you have stage control, make sure you don't give away center stage for free. Too often, players rush in and throw away a positional advantage in the process. Instead, when your opponent is cornered, consider forcing them to find a way out. You're the one with the power, so the onus is on them to take that power back. One standard way to exploit a positional advantage is simply to dash dance and react to your opponent's escape option from the corner. Common ways to get out of the corner include rolling out, fighting your way out, and just simply dashing out. By dash dancing, it's easier to react and punish whatever your opponent chooses to do. You can also just try to read the option they choose. Because their options are so limited, it's easier to predict what they choose to do. In fact, keeping track of how your opponent gets out of the corner is a great way to punish them in the future. On the other side of the scenario, if you're the one cornered, consider avoiding a fight altogether. Find a way to get back to center stage so that you can reset the neutral where you aren't at a disadvantage. One of the biggest things I've worked on as a player is to stop myself from constantly fighting in bad positions. Another common positional advantage that's often overlooked is being below your opponent. While it seems simple, being below your opponent is almost always a favorable position in the neutral game, especially for certain characters. Most of the cast struggles to make it back down, which forces them to commit to something in order to land. If you manage to get below your opponent, remember that most characters only have a few options available to them to get down. These options are to air dodge, throw out a move, empty land, or use a recovery option like up B or side B. Knowing this, you can exploit your positional advantage by baiting them into committing an option, then punishing it afterwards. If you know that the opponent doesn't have good moves to come down, this makes the other options even more likely. Let's see this concept in action. As you can see, Peach is one of the many characters that doesn't have great tools to come down from above. Her aerials really can't compete with Marth's disjointed sword, so Mew2King just has to prepare for paracel mix-ups, or air dodges, or Armada throwing out a move. This is a super common scenario in this matchup, so that's why it's super important to push your advantage to the fullest. It's worth noting that I'm not suggesting you should never be above your opponent. Some characters are better at dealing with this than others, and approaching from above is a common and good strategy used by the entire cast. Instead, I'm just reminding players to remember to exploit this advantage to the fullest when the opportunity arises, and to limit the amount of time you're above your opponent unnecessarily. The problem is that many players make the mistake of approaching from above too frequently, I'm looking at you Falco players, and allow their opponent to easily punish them thanks to their position. In conclusion, stage positioning plays a huge role in shaping the punish game and neutral game in Melee. By understanding how your stage positioning benefits or hinders your character, you can make better decisions to improve your game. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Macro Melee. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing or following me on Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you can seriously help make this channel more sustainable. So, thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.